Thanks for joining me. This video will cover a brief introduction to graphing linear equations in two variables. So in a previous video, I showed you the intercept method. So the video is entitled Intercepts. It introduces you to the concept of finding an x and y intercept and graphing with those. In this video, I'm going to talk more about how to graph using the slope-intercept form and picking out the slope and the intercept and graphing with that. Okay, so this is going to be really kind of focusing on graphing linear equations using the slope-intercept method. If you want to see how to do the intercept method, finding the x and y intercepts, you can look at that video separately. So for the method we're going to talk about today, we want the equation to be in slope-intercept form. Okay, slope-intercept form. Now there are multiple ways to graph a line. One way is the intercept method, where you find the x and y intercept and you connect them and you get a sketch of the line. Another way is to just pick random points. So you can let x be any value you want, and you plug that value in and you get a y value, and then you plot the ordered pairs and you connect them and form a line. That's fine if you want to do that. That's not my favorite way to do it, but it's a method. Okay, slope-intercept form uses what you know about the line when it's in this form. Okay, here it is, y equals mx plus b. The m is the slope, and the b is the y coordinate of the y-intercept. Okay, so your y-intercept is 0, comma b. If we look at number 1, it's in that form, it's in slope-intercept form, so we can easily pick out the slope. Right? So negative 4/3 is the slope. Notice I didn't say negative 4/3 x. The x is not part of the slope. The slope is just the number in front of the x, the coefficient of x, okay? The m, that's the slope. The b is 2, okay? That is the y coordinate of the y-intercept. So the y-intercept is 0, 2. Once you have that, it's very easy to graph a line. You start, so first step, plot the y-intercept. So you start with a b, so 0, 2 is the y-intercept. That's your point on the y-axis. So there it is. Right? And then second, count using the slope. Okay, in our case, we have negative 4/3. The geometric interpretation of the slope is rise over run. So this top value is your change in y, so it's how much you're going to go up or down. And the bottom value is the change in x. It's going to tell you how far to go left or right. So we have a negative 4/3. That negative you can choose if it's on the top or on the bottom, but it's not on both. Remember, if you have a negative 4/3, those two negatives would cancel and give you a positive 4/3. So it's not on both of them. A negative 4/3 is a negative 4/3 or 4/-3. Okay? Either way, the point will be on the line. And let me show you what I mean. So let's use green, okay, for this negative 4/3. The negative 4, so I'm going to start at the 2. I'm going to start at the y-intercept. And from that y-intercept, I'm going to move down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to move right 3 because it's a positive 3. 1, 2, 3. So there's my point. If I go down 4, right 3. Okay? In yellow, I will start from the 2 and I will go up 4 1, 2, 3, 4, because in this case it's a positive 4, but my 3 is negative. That means I'm going to go left 3 and put a point. If you connect the points, the yellow and the black and the green, notice they are all on the same line. They're called collinear. They're all on the same line. So it doesn't matter if you go up 4, left 3, or down 4, right 3. Either way, you're going to get a point on the line. So again, to graph when your equation is in slope-intercept form, you simply graph the intercept first, the y-intercept, and then count using your slope. And that's it. Let's look at number 2. All right, so number 2, if I'm going to use this method, in this case, really the intercept method is easier. So you can refer to that other video. But I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do slope-intercept form and do it that way, okay? So in this case, if I want to have this equation in slope-intercept form, the first thing I need to do is solve this equation for y. So I want the y to be by itself. So undo the addition and subtraction first. So get rid of the 4x. That means I have to subtract 4x from both sides. On the left side, it zeroes out. So I have negative 2y. And on the right side, I have a negative 4x and a positive 12. Really quickly over here, I'm going to rewrite this. Okay, so let's say I did negative 2y and then you wrote 12 minus 4x. That is the same thing as what I have. You just put the 12 before the 4x and I put the negative 4x before the 12. Same thing, they are equivalent. The reason I wrote it the way I did, though, is because I want my equation to be in slope-intercept form, meaning I want the x piece first and the constant last. So that's the reason. But they're mathematically equivalent, okay? Okay, so let's continue here. I'm trying to get the y by itself. I have a negative 2 on that side multiplied by y. Make sure you realize that's a negative 2 times y. So to undo multiplication, we divide by negative 2. So not adding 2, right? It would have to look like this to add the 2, right? But since negative 2 is right next to the y, that means it's multiplying. And to undo multiplication, we divide. So on the left-hand side, negative 2 divided by negative 2 is 1. So that just gives us y. And on the right-hand side, you can simplify this by simplifying both parts, okay? Negative 4x divided by negative 2 first. So negative 4 divided by negative 2. Let me actually just split this up for you. You're going to divide each piece by negative 2. Each piece gets divided by that negative 2. So we will have negative 4 divided by negative 2 is positive 2, so that'll be 2x. And 12 divided by negative 2 is negative 6. So a very common mistake that's made here is that people divide the negative 4 by negative 2, and they forget to divide the 12 by negative 2. So they don't divide the whole side by negative 2. So remember that when you're dividing the entire side by that, and each piece gets divided by it. Okay, so now we have the slope is 2, because that's what's in front of the x, right? The coefficient of x is m, which is the slope. And then negative 6 is the y-coordinate of the y-intercept. So I'm going to start by plotting the negative 6. That's the y-intercept, so it's down on the y-axis at negative 6. And then the slope is 2, which is 2 over 1. I highly encourage you to write it as a fraction so that you remember rise over run. So you're moving up 2, right 1. And you can keep going up 2, right 1. Just keep doing that as long as you'd like. and then connect all the dots to get a nice straight line. And that's how you graph using the slope-intercept form of a line.